Wife tries to force husband's family to sell their grandfather's cabin to buy her out in divorce. The brother of a good friend of mine went through a divorce last year. The divorce was fairly messy. His soon-to-be ex-wife was trying to get as much as she could. My friend and his siblings all jointly inherited their grandfather's cabin a few months earlier. It is situated on a private island in Canada that has been owned by the family for 4 generations. It's about 5,000 scout and easily worth over $3 mil, and their grandfather had several unexpected private offers over that value, all refused with no interest in selling. The family was notified by her lawyer that she was requesting payment to buy her out of her 1/6 ownership, each sibling owning 1/3, and she was trying to claim half of her husband's share. They tried to discuss a few alternatives such as giving her a 1/6 right to usage but no ownership. She declined, apparently intent on forcing them to sell it, knowing none of them could afford to front the money to their brother to keep the cabin in their ownership. Their lawyer, a family friend, did a bunch of work to find a favorable solution for them. In looking over the grandfather's will, he discovered that the divorcing brother did not in fact own any part of the island with the cabin on it. It seemed that their grandfather bought up a bunch of other islands nearby the cabin and willed them to his grandchildren separately. He only owned a small nearby island, made up of rocks and gravel, not big enough to build on, and not worth any money at all, not wanting to give her anything at all. They made her an offer attempting to look like they were giving her more than she deserved, and with the appearance of being desperate to keep ownership of the cabin, to give her 75% usage rights of the island for 25 years with no ownership. In the offer they named the worthless island by its legal land title name. She made a counteroffer which was identical, but she wanted to add her rights to rent the island out for profit, and she wanted choice over her time allocation, which she drafted in the offer. They agreed. Friendly, her new boyfriend was more interested in the cabin than the money. They mailed her a set of keys for the cabin. They were keys for a master lock for their life jacket storage box on the dock at shore, as well as a fake key with a bright yellow floating foam keychain to give her the impression that there would be a boat available to get to the island. They allowed her to believe her deal was for the cabin's island for quite a while, as the divorce was still not finalized. Her first weekend with the island was a long weekend, and she invited her family out, along with her new boyfriend, a 400 kilometers drive, and were greeted by my friend's dad and their lawyer. The whole thing was planned by their lawyer, who I am fairly good friends with as well. He tells me that her family was stranded on the island for hours, as they hired a barge to ferry them over, and they waited until the barge left before going over the details of what she agreed to. He says she attempted legal action once more after that, accusing the family of fabricating the will after the fact. Paternally, her lawyer dropped the case before it even started.